Honourable Ms Franks.
Thank you, Mr Acting President. I move Notice of Motion Private Business number 3 in my name. And it is namely that this Council requires the Chair of the SA COVID-19 Transition Committee to provide to the COVID Response Committee of this Council the complete adopted minutes of all meetings of the SA COVID-19 Transition Committee. Mr Acting President, I rise very briefly to note that since I gave notice of that motion, the committee of this Council, which is charged with the oversight of the COVID pandemic, has finally received a complete set of minutes. However, it was not without literally over a dozen requests, legal advice being sought and obtained back on the 23rd of June, and then indeed, while we first received a first lot of minutes after some repeated requests and legal advice being sought back in July, it was some 4 months later that it's taken to get the second lot of minutes. Now, Mr Acting President, I don't believe it's unimportant that this Council and this Parliament and the people of South Australia understand the work of the Transition Committee. This is the committee that is charged with the very important job of bringing us through this COVID pandemic from the health response to the recovery response. This is the committee that decides whether or not our borders are opened or closed. This is the committee that decides whether or not we can drink standing up, whether we can dance at a pub, whether a private function means that we can do both of those things, drink and dance, but should the pub put on its own function, that we can't do both of those things of drinking and dancing. There are many decisions that are made by this Transition Committee, however, that go well beyond that, that have seen families separated, that have seen people unable to access healthcare, employment, education, that have seen curious decisions made, which of course are informed by health priorities, but are balanced with business and commercial priorities, and the South Australian people deserve to know how and why those decisions are made, and most importantly, who's in the room when it happens, who gets access to the Transition Committee. We know that the AFL has had access to the Transition Committee. We also know that frustrated business people have written to the Premier asking him to address their concerns, but indeed it's the Transition Committee that's making these decisions, and the Premier is not in that room. In the new world, in the COVID normal, we need new standards of transparency to ensure the trust that has got us through this pandemic so far in the good shape that we are currently in compared to many other countries and indeed even other states and territories of this nation. Mr President, I appreciate that the Transition Committee has now provided its minutes to the Parliamentary Oversight Committee charged with ensuring through this pandemic that process is not lost, that democracy is not diminished, and with that I move to discharge this motion and hope that I never have to bring such a motion before this Council again.
It's been seconded. I'll put the question. Those for the question say aye. Against say no. I think the ayes have it. Clark.